Hi guys, in today's video I want to take you step by step through my batch cooking process. Yes, I batch cook once a month because I'm a working mom and I have a large family and I don't like cooking every day because it wastes time, well, according to me, and also I save a lot more money that way. So I want to take you step by step through how a typical batch cooking day goes in our house. Right from the time I go to buy the stuff, where I buy the stuff, how I cook it. I started by writing my shopping list using my master grocery lists. If you don't have one, I'll link it here. And then I was ready. Before I left for the market, I decided to first leave the lentils boiling that we were going to be batch cooking. So I washed my red lentils. I think I was making about 2 kilos. And then also washed 2 kilos of dengu. I wanted to leave them boiling so that by the time I got back from the market and the slaughterhouse, they'll be ready for stewing. So that's what I was doing here. Of course, I'd already put on my outfit for the market, which includes gumboots and my jacket, which is very important. Then I went to get my shopping bags. I do a lot of shopping, so I like to have 2 large sacks and a few shopping bags just for carrying things around in the market. I had soaked beans and peanuts like 2 days earlier. I like to soak my beans for 48 hours so that when they cook really fast. Hey, it's 7 o'clock. I'm running so late. I had to do all those things before I left the house, but it's not too late. Generally, I prefer to be at Marikiti by latest 6:30, but anyway, it's all good. I will make the most of it. I hope I can be able to take a video of how it goes in there. Yeah. Check out this traffic. I mean, seriously, as if you are not late enough. Oh my gosh. Medium. Sina leo, akisinitafutie. Yeah, so I'm done with Marikiti Market. I'm going to the Goriti Market right now. It is so muddy. I'm thank God for my gumboots. And remember to carry your plastic bag right here, because yeah, I'll show you how it looks like on the inside. So here we went to a place where they were chopping up our beef for us after buying it from the slaughterhouse, which was very helpful. And now let the games begin. Okay, well, not really games, but I've just come from the market. I'm ready to start chopping, cooking and boiling and doing everything that pertains to batch cooking. But first, let me show you everything that I got from Marikiti. Okay, everything that I'm going to use for batch cooking. I bought fruits and other things which I will not show you right now because I'm running so late. It's 2 o'clock and I have to have finished this batch cooking by latest 7 p.m. and that is latest because life has to go on. But first, have a look at what I bought. Okay, let me first start with the beef. Okay, but I didn't buy it at Marikiti, obviously. I bought it at the slaughterhouse. And the most exciting thing that happened today is that those guys actually chopped it up for me. So as you can see, it's some really tiny pieces and it made my work so easy. So now I'll just have to just cook it. This is, I actually ended up buying 9 kilos of beef. So I'm going to divide it into 2. Half will go into the freezer for next month, and then I'll use half for this month. So that is just perfect. Bless those guys for chopping it up for me. And I had to pay 10 bob per kg for chopping, but still it was worth it. It just cost me 90 bob and saves me like 2 hours worth of work. Fantastic. Then I have green peppers here, which I bought. Honestly, I'll have to look at my notes to tell you how much I bought it for, but I'll just show you what I bought. Then I have tomatoes and I have some broccoli down here. Then I have courgettes right here. Then I have some eggplant, lots and lots of it. I bought 2 cabbages. Each was going for 60 shillings. Great price for that size, basically. Bought a whole bag of dhania, or what you might call coriander, I think, or parsley. I don't know, I confused the two. And then I bought some red onions, 2 kilos of red onions. I bought some leeks. There's a leek in my boat. Okay, there's no leek in my boat, but I bought these leeks. I've never actually bought leeks for years, so I'm excited to put them in our beef stew. And then I bought carrots, and then I bought a whole bag of peas, which we haven't shelled. I don't even think we'll cook them, but yeah, we'll see. Thankfully, I had a few peas in my freezer, which will come in handy for such a time as this. And then while I was there, our lovely help was boiling for me. These are peanuts, which I will put in our githeri. Then she boiled for me some beans. I showed you that in the morning. And then she also boiled some dengu and some red lentils. And let me show you what's boiling on the fire right now as we speak. So here you have my beef broth. It's been boiling for about 2 hours, going to 2.5 hours. I feel it's ready. I can actually switch off the fire for now. It's better than using water, obviously, in my cooking. I've had these bones. This is the 3rd time I'm boiling them. I think I'll boil them one more time, as in, like, I've used them for 3 months now, and they still have quite a lot of goodness in them. Lots of calcium, collagen, and fantastic things. And then right here I have green maize, which I've just added some cold water, that's why it's not boiling. But this is for making githeri, but this will be enough for 2 months. I will decide, we'll see. So here I was dividing the meat into 2 portions. So I got our weighing scale in the house, and I just wanted to make sure it was 4.5, just to make it easier. And then the one half went into the freezer, and the other half we were going to eat. And then I put the beef on the fire as I put the rest of the beef into the freezer. I didn't add water, I just let the beef cook in its own stews. And then I went ahead to clean the rest of the vegetables in preparation for the chopping. I put vinegar in the water, and so what I would do is, after scrubbing the vegetables, I would soak them in the vinegar water for 15 minutes, and then they'll be ready for chopping. I kept checking on the beef just to make sure it's not burning, just turning it and make sure it's cooking well in its juices. I managed to get some free time to shell the peas, so just a few spare moments, so I went ahead and did that. And in the process, I added rosemary into our beef. It was still stewing, it was very juicy. Actually, when I first bought it, I thought it was going to be hard because it was from the rib area, as you saw. But this beef really surprised me. And also, this recipe calls for cooking it just slowly and for a long time. And you know, because I have kids, I was very keen on making sure that the beef comes out very, very soft. So yeah, it was from the rib area, but this is a great recipe because the longer you cook it, the softer it becomes. You guys, it was literally falling off the bone by the time I was done with it, which was awesome. Then I was cleaning the leeks. It was my first time to work with leeks. Leeks are very tricky to clean, by the way. And even after I made this video, I learned a new way of cleaning leeks, which I will show you probably in another video. But because this was my first experience with them, this was the best way I knew how to clean them. Because inside those leaves, you still get to find soil. It was very hard to clean. So I had to just keep opening every leaf and scrubbing with my kitchen brush. I mean, it works, but now I have a much better method which I'll show you. And then what I did is I like putting all the clean vegetables in this one big pot, so that now I leave the containers for putting the already chopped ones. It makes it much easier that way. Because I was going to chop all this, you guys. Can you see how many vegetables I was going to use to chop? So you need a really sharp knife. In fact, I'm looking for a way to keep my knives sharp because they get so blunt, and I need them to be extremely sharp, especially for this one day of batch cooking. So my house help and I work together to do the chopping, and at least she has a few rudimentary ways of sharpening the knives, but I need, a professional way of sharpening these knives, because clearly I'm a professional chef at this point in time. I wanna be. But yes, so it's very key to have a sharp knife, or at least two sharp knives for me and for my health. One thing that I find to be very important when I'm chopping courgette is to first chop them straight down the middle and check to make sure they don't have any of those weird bugs that come from the inside. And then once you're happy with it, then you go ahead and chop the rest of it. Because sometimes you can chop up courgettes and then you mix them with the other ingredients, only to go and find some brown bits which are not so cool. I have here 7 kilos of chicken which I've already washed and skinned. We don't like to eat chicken skin. And then I have carrots which we've grated, and I have ginger, garlic, I have dhania here, and I have tomatoes. I also have green peppers or hoho. I have 3 large potatoes peeled, and I have 4 red onions which have been chopped up. All this was done by my lovely help, and she's so amazing. So all I have to do now is to go about cooking the chicken. So one thing I realized about broiler chicken, by the way, this is broiler chicken. If you watch my video about going to the slaughterhouse, I was asking the main difference between the kienyeji chicken and broiler chicken. If you're interested, check out that video. I'll link it here. But now I have this broiler chicken, and I used to boil it before just to remove that chicken taste and everything. But then I realized once you boil it and then you come to cook it, because it is very soft, it will just fall apart. So I learned this hack of just soaking it in boiling water. That's water that I have just boiled. And then I'm going to add like a tablespoon of salt. Okay. Then I'm going to cover it for about 5 to 10 minutes. So I found this works better. Don't worry, my hands are clean, guys. This works better than boiling the chicken, because the way the chicken just falls apart once you have cooked it, I didn't like that. It's really soft broiler chicken. But you guys, I'm really going to learn about kienyeji chicken, and I'm going to look for the best source of kienyeji chicken. I am hereby convinced that kienyeji chicken is amazing. So let's leave that for about 10 minutes, and then I'll show you the next thing that I normally do. So I was starting to cook the chicken here. As the rest of it was soaking, I cooked my onions. When they had become a bit soft, I added ginger and garlic. Cooked them for a few more minutes. And then the 5 minutes were over, so I poured the salty water from the chicken. I found it's really effective, by the way. It removes the chicken smell from the chicken without overcooking it. Such a nice hack. And then I added my spices to my onions, which is paprika and garam masala, some bay leaves. Yep. Then once the spices were nicely cooked, I added some lemon, tomatoes and green peppers. I like to put a lot of vegetables in my food, in all of my stews, because I found this is a nice way to make sure my family is eating good enough portion of vegetables. So now here what I was doing is I was steaming the chicken. I didn't put any water, I just added some more ginger and garlic, put it in my wok, and then I just covered it to just steam for a few minutes. I had to do this in batches because it was a lot and my wok is small. Yeah, so I did it in several batches and I just kept checking on it. Yes, you guys, when I grow up, I will get bigger cooking pots. Added just a little bit of water because it was starting to stick to the bottom. Meanwhile, the base for my chicken stew was still cooking, and I just added some tomato paste and some Royco and mixed it up. Yeah, just to let the tomatoes simmer down. This part of steaming or sweating out the chicken took me about, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. We're just cooking the chicken through without overcooking. Of course, I didn't want to waste that juicy water, so I put it straight into my base for the chicken stew, and then I added some carrots, which it just really makes the chicken stew really. You don't have to put carrots if you don't like, but for me it's just another way of ensuring that my family eats enough vegetables. In any given meal, by the way, I think we eat like a cup of vegetables at least. So now the next step is to deep fry the chicken, which is, I'm not the biggest fan of deep frying, but I really wanted to see how the chicken was going to hold up, that it will not fall apart as I stew it, and even the taste. And you guys, this did not disappoint. I loved this recipe. The deep frying was worth it. I must say, it tasted so yummy. It really did. And it didn't fall apart. That's the best part. It didn't fall apart after I stewed it. So I was just deep frying it, making sure that it browns nicely on both sides. And again, I had to do this in batches. The other thing I did was to grate my potatoes, my warus. Yes, I'm from the mountain region, and you guys know you can't cook a meal without warus, which is not really true, by the way, you guys, that's just a myth. And okay, but I can understand why people feel like that. But when I feel like I need to thicken a certain stew, I like to grate, obviously, some black pepper. Anyway, when I want to thicken my stew and I don't want the warus to be seen, I grate them. In fact, I ended up using only one just to make the soup a bit thick. And then once the base was nice and cooked, I put in my deep fried chicken. You guys, the soup is normally so thick and heavy, which is really nice. It's really nice because I don't remember what we were eating. What were we eating the chicken with? I don't know. I don't remember because we recently just did a new menu plan. If you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and do so. It's really nice. It shows you how to plan your meals for your family. So yeah, I know whatever I haven't memorized it off it, so I don't remember what we were having with this chicken. But we need the soup to be thick. Soup always needs to be thick, you guys. I don't like runny soup. So wow, looky here. So I was really happy. Now look the way that chicken is not falling apart. Normally after stewing my chicken like this, it would just be falling apart, you guys, which I don't like. Then I added some dhania, and basically my chicken was ready. Oh, look at that. So once I put in the chicken pieces, because they had already been cooked, I don't boil it for long. I just let them stay for just like a few minutes. I'm running so late and it's almost dinner time. So what I've decided to do is, instead of cooking everything, normally I like to cook everything at once because I'm still busy chopping up things. I've decided to just focus on dinner. We're going to just have beef and pasta and broccoli. Then once that is ready and kids are eating, I'll finish with the other 4 dishes, which will be very quick. But the chopping up part is the hardest, it takes the longest time. But once everything is chopped up, you'll see how fast it goes. But fast now, I gotta feed these kids or they're going to eat me. So after I had fed the children, I continued with the batch cooking, which is what I was doing right here. So one thing I learned about leeks is they cook very well when you put them together with the onions and you just sweat them out together. You guys, leeks make such a difference to your meals. I don't know why it took me so long to discover them. They're so delicious. I love it. Yes, and this pot of mine, sufuria, doesn't have a lid, so I use a smaller one, and then I use a cooking stick to hold on to the cover. No judgment, you guys. Progress, not perfection. One of these days I'll have to go to Kabucho for bigger sufurias, for real, for real. Yeah. So here I was making the base for our yummy the beef stew. And then it was time to put in my beef, which was already very well cooked and very soft as at this point in time. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Delicious. Can you see how amazing? Oh, it's making me hungry. And then I added some minjis. Yeah, you all know where I'm from, so yeah, I know you are not surprised that I put minjis in it. But I just love them because they add such amazing color. And then I put some of the beef stock, which was ready. You guys, putting water in food, really, I don't like putting water in food. I don't. I'd rather spend 2-3 hours making some nice beef stock just to make my food taste a little bit better. I think it makes a very big difference. Y'all knew I had to put gadufu, right? You knew that was coming, right? So now at this point I had fed all my people, and then it was time to do the main batch cooking. Remember, at this point my beef is done, my chicken is done, so all I need is to cook 4 more dishes to make a total of 6 dishes. And then I don't remember what the seventh dish is. Normally roast potato, so yeah, this one can't be batched. But the ingredients were ready. My househelp had been working through and through, just chopping and chopping and chopping stuff. So she's such a trooper. So as I was making the beef and the chicken, she was busy chopping everything up. So yeah, because I had basically 4 fires going, I was able to do this simultaneously. This is the thing for me, it's the best part about batch cooking. It's cooking 4 meals at the same time. When all the ingredients are ready, you guys, it goes so fast. It normally just goes so very fast, and it makes it so much easier. So I mean, all I would say is, yeah, the more the fire, the faster you can go. I think that's all I'm saying. So yeah, normally at this point, because everything is ready, I'm just like a mad woman, dashing from one of the cooking pots to the other. And then I have to mentally note which pot is for which dish, because some dishes I cook them slightly different. I cook the beans and the githeri slightly different from how I cook the dengu and the red lentils. As far as spices are concerned, some I will put curry powder, others I'll put garam masala, some I will put a bit of butter or margarine depending on what's on hand, some I will not. So it's just a matter of, yeah, making a mental note. You see, some I put leeks, some I didn't put leeks. So I have to be very keen to remember which pot is for which dish, and it goes really fast. I love using tomato paste because I feel like it makes a difference in the thickness and the flavor of my food and my stew. Even though I do put fresh tomatoes, I still prefer to also add a little bit of tomato paste. But that's me. And then as the dish is cooking, I put just a little bit of stock or broth. So it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. The bean stew is normally the one that I make the most because we love beans and we can have them with anything. We can have them with chapatis, we can have them with rice, we can have them with matok, or we can have beans. I love beans, you guys. Rice and beans is one of my most favorite meals. And normally I have to also consider not just dinner but also sometimes lunch, because what we have for dinner is what we have for lunch, so the quantities have to be enough to cater for both dinner and lunch. So that's why this might look like a lot of food to some guys, but you guys, oh my gosh, since I discovered batch cooking, I will never look back. It's made my life so much easier. And let me tell you, this is so strange. Guys have been asking me, Ati, what relationship do I have with KPLC? Because wondering whether where I live we don't have blackouts and for this food to go bad. So all I can say is, you guys, imagine, honestly, we've been batch cooking for, it's going to 3 years now, and we've never had the issue of having to throw away food because of a power blackout. I'm not saying we don't get blackouts, but even when we get blackouts, because the food is in the deep freezer, it's normally frozen solid, so it stays that way. It can stay that way even up to 3 days, as long as no one is opening and closing the freezer, that often. Yeah, so yay for technology and deep freezers, you guys. So this is my githeri. I love putting a lot of stuff in my githeri, you guys. I just don't just put maize and beans. I like to put peas, I like to put peanuts, I like to put whatever, because I feel like it gives it such a unique and different flavor and taste. And you guys, it really makes a tasty and yummy githeri. Ebu, just try it and let me know in the comment section below. First of all, let me know whether you cook githeri in your house, and yeah, how you do it. I love to learn from guys. After my food was cooked, it was time to clean up, you guys. We have to clean our kitchen and shine our sink before we call it a day, and that's exactly what I was doing. My kitchen was a mess, you guys. So I decided to take this chance to clean up and to wash the dishes. Because you guys, there's nothing like as good as waking up in the morning to a clean and nice kitchen. So I decided to take that chance to clean up. You know how we do in Fly Lady Land? We wash the dishes, we don't just leave them there, we dry them and put them away so that our counters are nice and clean. Then once the food was ready, I just removed it from the cookers and then decided to clean them up too. I was using my trusty kitchen spray, which we made right here at home. If you'd like to know how to make it, I made a video, which I'm going to link right here. It really cleans the kitchen, leaves it smelling amazing. It's not left smelling like you cooked a lot of food. Removes all the grease, and it even keeps away bugs such as roaches. It's a really nice kitchen spray. Please make sure you check out that video. The one thing I did not do was to mop the floors, because you guys, I was tired and I knew our help was going to mop in the morning. So man, that was it. Oh, look at that kitchen. Yes, and my sweet black tea right there in the corner. Now let me show you the food. And now here is the food after we had put it in containers. That was just the beef that we had put. And now here is the food after it had cooled down. We had already put the beef in some containers so that I could use the pot for something else. But the rest was going to cool down a bit before we put it in the freezer. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.